Gents, moving on to the Proteas quota saga, so to speak. This thing won't go away. Garen, what do we know so far? I see now Mike Horn has been quoted as saying that his statement was taken out of context. There wasn't necessarily political interference on the eve of the semi-final. CSA, Fikile and Balula rubbishing all these claims. What do we know so far?
We know it's a complete mess, and it just simply won't go away. You know, as recently as this weekend, more statements from Cricket South Africa. The first one that came out was basically clarifying what Mike Horn supposedly said. So it wasn't a Mike Horn statement; it was a Cricket South Africa statement on what Mike Horn had said. Very, very difficult to know for sure. You know, obviously, unless you were there, you don't know, and it's all sort of hearsay. But yeah, it's difficult to explain basically what happened. Mike Horn, you know, he's obviously like there for motivational purposes. They knew that the team perhaps wasn't as strong as it could have been. There was some injury concerns with Philander. My biggest concern is that Philander only passed the fitness test on the morning of the match. Whether then Mike Horn, subsequent to that, had another little chat with the team and then said, you know, okay, now this is the team that we have finally settled on, and this is the fact, you know, that Philander's now come in for Abbott, and he's maybe carrying an injury. We're going to have to give more than 100% that we have to date, because that's what I heard when I listened to the transcript of his speech. So, you know, unless he knew subsequent to Philander that he was going to play, regardless whether he was 80%, 90% fit, I'm not too sure when that statement actually was made. And then Cricket South Africa, like you said, came out with another statement, basically clearing everybody of any wrongdoing. There was no SMS apparently sent. So, you know, it's a little bit of a mess. You know, cricket's sort of like gone into a little bit of a lull if you just forget the IPL at the moment. So the Proteas aren't scheduled to play for a couple of months still, but it just won't go away. This issue back in was it March now, end of March. So we're a good couple of weeks down the line, and we're still harboring on about this fact. So it's difficult to say. I'm not too sure how this leaves Mike Horn and as a sort of motivational speaker for Cricket South Africa, if they're still going to call upon him or if his services are sort of over. Tricky to say. You know, I really don't have the answer, unfortunately. Hopefully more clarity comes out. Maybe somebody's willing to stand up and be brave enough and to say, this is actually what happened. I was there. You know, I'm going to rubbish this report or confirm that report. So a little bit of a mess. I don't think Cricket South Africa are covering themselves in any glory at the moment. You know, there seems to be a little bit of cloak and dagger behind the scenes stuff going on. So, yeah, that's basically all I know, to be honest.
Rob, you know, the old cliche, where there's smoke, there's fire. So someone's either being dishonest or the media sensationalizing this thing. But why would you know, 1 week have quotes from Mike Horn sort of confirming there's political interference, and then a few days later that's been refuted?
Yeah, it almost sounds as if there's been an attempt to sort of cover up, to get him to sort of backpedal desperately. After, at the very worst, he did drop hints. In fact, more than hints, really. If you look, you know, read carefully between the lines as to what he really said about having to sort of present the side with a different form of motivational challenge suddenly. In other words, that they had to depart from sort of script A motivationally. That's obviously his specialist department, and suddenly he had to sort of, it sounds like he had to put in a sort of a plan B into place. You know, this is like something, it's almost like a political debate. This, you know, there are words and there are lies and there are rumors, and we may only, as Garen said, we may only get the truth when someone has the guts to actually write a book. You sort of think that when some major cricket personality eventually retires, the truth will fully out in a book situation or something like that. I've also heard rumours that the Democratic Alliance might be wanting to take up this issue in Parliament, so that could open up a new can of worms as well as to whether there was political interference. So watch the space. I think there are still a few more developments before the dust settles on this incident.
Okay. Right, guys, thank you.